Hello, this is Jean from Louis Educational Consulting, and today I'm here for another edition of Insights into College Admissions. Today I have with me a very special lady. This is Miss Bea Plagaro from the University of Navarra. So, Bea, how are you doing today?
Real fine, thank you. I'm taking like my nap time to do this, so it's fine.
That's great because I know you were traveling, so it must have been you must still catching up with uh Asia time going
I
back
know, but
home.
it's fine.
It's
No,
fine.
no more jet lag. It's fine.
That's great. That's great. So since you're back on campus, can you tell me a little bit of what's happening right now at University of Navarro?
Well, actually, like November is a weird month because students from all kind of like programs they are preparing for the exams. Exams takes place in December, so they're having the last days of classes. Except for medicine. Medicine they don't have like semesters, so they only have like bi-monthly modules. So their exams like other schedule. But yes, students are going now to the last days of classes and preparing for the exams in December.
So I guess the campus is a little bit slow and deserted right now, since students must be focusing on studying, or
Not
they're still on
really.
campus to do their study.
Not really, because each building we have a huge building on campus, the main library, and then some other buildings has its own library. So students keep coming back and forth from campus to go study in the libraries, and also we have the sports facilities. So when you study, you have to release your energy, and they actually go and join all the sports we have available there. So it's pretty lively actually. It's never like a dull moment there.
Ah, wow, that's good. I mean, so when this is midterm exams going on right now, or this is part of their that should be midterm, right?
Okay, so actually, like it depends because students they do have like subjects that are like one semester or annual subjects. So now in December they are like having their exams. It will be only midterms for the annual subjects, but for the other ones, we like the final exams. So if they pass the exams now in December, they're good to go. If they don't, they have a second chance on the retakes in June.
Oh, so it depends on which subject they're
Hmm.
studying. So
Yes,
okay, it might be a final, it might be just the midterm at the moment.
yes.
Okay, great. But I know also, I mean, your institution must have had a new class of students that you're trying to bring in for
Mhm.
the next calendar year. How did that go?
So actually, for us, September and October are pretty busy and hectic in terms of like recruiting students. Because most of the well, it depends on the calendar of the school. Depends if you're going to Asia, you're going to Latin America, because the calendars are different. Some students in South America they graduate in December. Also in some countries in Africa, South Africa, for example. So it depends on the school year. We are like meeting with juniors or with seniors. So it depends. But we are like traveling so much, visiting so many schools and families and doing the whole process with them. I mean, it's one of the parts that I like the most, getting to meet the students and the families and help. Because some of them, I've been already in touch with them for the last 2 years. So now it's like finally they're applying and doing the whole process. So you get to have like a good bond with the families. You end up knowing the whole family actually. So
Yeah, I
it's an
mean,
intense
I
time, but
guess they become your family without living
I
in
know,
their place because you spend
I
so much
know.
time with them, right?
Yes. And I like when they come to the university finally, and then they come and say hello to you. And when they graduate, it's like, oh, another one graduating. So it's like, yes.
So, I mean, from what you're describing, so that's kind of like a special connection that you created, like a special bond with the student before they even come in campus. So, tell me a little bit more. Then when they're on campus, how do you interact with them? Do you stay close to them, or because I know once they are in transition, they come to campus now, they have to focus on their work, on their studies, and all of that.
Mm.
So, how does that work?
Well, actually, it depends on the student. For me, for example, so I travel to schools and meet the families, and I help the students like deciding what they want to study and applying. And I do the admissions interview, do the whole process with the students and with their families. So once they're on campus, students are assigned a mentor on campus. So that mentor is a professor of the school they are studying in. So any questions academic related, they just go to them. Like any kind of like guidance they need, they go to them. But still, like with some of the students, if they want to keep in touch with me, I'm more than happy. I actually meet them for a coffee or like just to catch up, or like, hey, I'm deciding what to do next year. Like I have the option to stay here doing my internships, going to Madrid, or so I like to keep in touch with them actually, but it always depends on the students. I normally text them like, "Hey, how is everything?" Like most of the first month on campus, because it's like the hardest time for them. It's like new country, new language, new method of studying, of learning, and everything. So I like to catch up with them and see how are they doing, like how are they adapting. And if they want to meet, I'm always open to meet with them. I like to know how they're doing actually. Like, yes, I like to keep up with them. Ooh.
So technically, you still catch up with them while they're on campus. I mean, I
Yes.
understand that once they're on campus, you always traveling. That's the other thing. So
Oh yes, but no,
it's
no,
very
it's not
hard for
that.
them to keep track of you, though.
Oh no, no, not at all. I mean, like they have access to my calendar, so they can see when I'm available or not. So
Ah,
it's
very
fine.
cool.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, they can meet whatever they want. But it actually depends on the student. Some of them, like once they're at campus, they're like, I'm on campus, new life, that's it. And some of them are really liking to keep up and catching up with me, like from like a couple of months. And actually, like some students, once they graduate, because I travel a lot, some of them they're back in their countries, in other ones, and I am like, hey, I'm going to Dublin. Are you gonna be there? Like, oh, let's meet up for drinks. Or like, I just came back from Seoul, and one of our graduates from this, yes, they're like working now, doing an internship. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna be there for a couple of days, and we went for dinner, karaoke, like. So even when they graduate, if it's possible, I like to see how are they doing and still
that's
meet
very
them.
nice.
Mm.
So going back to the new class of students you guys are bringing in for next calendar year.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you notice in the student profile that you guys have accepted in? Anything, any trends you would like to share?
No, actually, it depends on the by countries. Actually, like some countries are more into like sciences, biology, chemistry. The other countries are more into like social sciences, more into humanities or the PPE. So, and other ones are like really mixed up. So it depends on the country. There are some programs that are like not successful at all, and in other ones that I really want. So it's like it depends a lot. Like I just came back from Asia, and everything related to like biochemistry, biology, environmental sciences, and engineering was like really, really, really successful there. But like almost nobody wanted like anything to do like with communications or like architecture or like humanities. So it depends by countries. And I got to the UK and 80% asked for about medicine. So I was like, okay. So yeah, it really depends by countries.
Okay, so it's very country specific in terms of the
Yeah.
subjects that students choose from.
Mm.
So
Yes.
then, can you tell me what will be like, because from what you're describing, the sciences seems to be like the most attractive subjects that students like to come
No.
to Navarra and study. Is that
Well,
right?
in some of my countries, yes, but actually the most demanded programs in the university are medicine, business, economics, international relations, and psychology and nursing. Those ones are
Okay.
the top ones actually. Like
The top
the fir-
ones.
the
Okay.
first deadline that ends now on the 11th of December.
Hmm.
Then it's like those programs are already waitlisting students. It's like really, really high demand on those ones. So if it's like if you want any of those, please apply the first deadline.
Okay. So for the audience, please, can you tell them a little bit more about the deadline? So if they're listening and they're interested in the University of Navarra, so they can go ahead and do it
Okay.
before the deadline?
So first deadline ends on the 11th of December, being the admission test on Saturday, 16th of December, and we will give away the resolutions on the 24th of January. If it's too late for if it's too early for them, like too tight, next deadline and is the last one, will be the 11th of March. But still, like if they want to apply to any of those programs that I mentioned before, like the sooner the better, because like it's really hard to get into those in March. You have to be like an extraordinary student to get into it in March.
So
Yeah.
then tell us, because you're talking about extraordinary student, So what is for medicine, for instance, what are you looking for in a student?
Well, actually, medicine was really competitive. We get like 1,600 applications per year, and by law, we are only allowed to accept like 200 students. So
From
we are
international or for the
all
entire
no
class?
no the entire class. We don't have quotas for national or international students. Like we just get
Okay.
the best 200 just get in. That's it. We
Okay.
don't care about your country or your curriculum or anything like that. Just the best
That's
200
great
just get
news.
in.
That's great news. So
Yeah,
any student can get into that program so long as they have good academic standards.
exactly. So, for example, for medicine, the admission test counts 70%,
Mhm.
and the GPA from the junior year and the interview with me counts the other like 30%. So it's like
But you are
really
the person who does all the interviews
well
for
for
medicine?
for some of the countries. Yes, I do the interviews for students coming from Asia, from UK, Portugal, and Brazil. Because we are divided. Like if a student is in Panama, they have to contact Tia Gabi. If they are in Florida, they have to contact Elisa. So I have like representatives from the university
Mhm.
that help students with their applications and all the process in different countries in the world. So they can check in our website which one's the nearest one to their city, or if not, just send a general email to admissions@unav.es, and then there they will assign it to the right one. But it's always
Understood.
with the delegate in the country, because we like to have like a more personal like relation with the student. That's why
Mhm.
we always assign them to the closest one, so they
For
can it's
sure.
easy to meet up with the student, with the families. Yes.
Mhm. So is that also because of a way of getting to know the culture of the student before they come into the campus?
Yes, because the thing is like the interview normally is more like a personal interview, because for the academics we already know like their transcripts and the score in our exam. So we like to do the interview to know more about the student, to know more about like if they're gonna be like, because we also want like good students but good human beings too, and we
For
want to
sure,
know
for
also
sure.
like if they are gonna be okay and they're gonna be adapting properly to the campus, because it's not always easy. To move, like it takes guts to move to another country like as a young age and leave your family and your
100%. I
friends
agree with you. You have to be
and
brave.
everything. Exactly. So you need to know the person and see if they have in them, like, because we don't want students to come here and after 2 weeks, 1 month, like it's too much for me, I'm struggling, overwhelming, and it's a lot of like a waste of time and money for the families. Also, it's like a huge effort for them to send the kids away abroad. So you want them to make the right decision. So it's not like come anyway. No, you want them to like, you want to come. Okay, let's make sure you are a good fit for the university and you're ready to come. Actually, not
Okay.
everything works. Like, yeah.
So I know you talk about medicine, but I mean, in general, what are you looking for? What does the University of Navarra is looking for a student in terms of academic profile? So a B student, a student who's got only A's. I mean, you alluded to
So
that. It's probably like for subject specific, right? Depending
so
on what
oof,
the
it
student wants
depends
to
on so
study.
many things actually, because it's not the same. So we know how different curriculums work. So we know an 8 in American diploma is not the same as an 8 in a French diploma. So we know, like, we cannot put like a line, like you have to have more than this score. Only we do that in medicine, but we cannot do that with that in other programs, because we know how different like the structures are and the scores are in different diplomas.
Mhm.
So we only have requirements in terms of like scores for IB students that decide to apply with the predicted. If they don't use the predicted, the same as everybody else, just junior year transcripts, our exam, and the interview, and that's it. So it depends on the program. Like they're
So
gonna need
for
like,
the IB, how
because
many points are you looking for?
it depends on the program. Everything
Depends on the
depends.
program.
So for
But
example,
let me choose a program. For instance, a student who's interested, let's say either business or engineering.
so for business, and it will be like 34 points, high level 5
IB.
in IB,
Mhm.
high level 5 in mathematics, or standard level 6. In engineering, for example, it will be like 5 in physics and high level 6 in mathematics.
Okay.
So it depends on which program. For medicine, it's at least 37, TOK included, high level 6 in both biology and chemistry.
Okay.
So it
So
really depends on the program.
let's say a student with a US high school diploma. So because those two are the ones that always put into perspective the IB and
Mhm.
the US curriculum. So for students who studied in the US. So what would that student need to be admitted at your institution?
Well, they don't have specific requirements for the American diploma. There is not like you need an A in math, physics, and no, it's recommended because if not, they're gonna struggle. Because level of sciences in Spain is like really high. So normally international students, when they come here, they really struggle with math, physics, chemistry, and biology. So
Okay.
if they, yes, so if they want to come to any program requiring those subjects, they need to have like A plus in those subjects in their home country or
But do
doing the
you
advanced
require
placements.
do you require
No, we don't require them.
AP,
It's not mandatory.
no
No.
AP for the US students?
No, we don't require them. It's not like something they have to meet. It's recommended because otherwise they're
Recommended.
gonna struggle into get like because we don't transfer the AP credits into the Spanish system. We don't transfer those credits. They don't like. So for us, it's like, okay, you take AP, perfect. It's gonna help you to get
Mhm.
like to the right level when you come to Spain.
Okay.
I mean, like if they don't take AP, they're gonna struggle a lot. Sometimes even with AP, they struggle in sciences. So they really need AP in sciences if they want to do something sciences related.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So, okay, so it depends on subject specific. For instance, a business student will have will or engineering, so they will have engineering and would probably have higher requirement course strengths than business would, I assume.
For engineering, they need like higher level of maths and physics. Like we actually do like a couple of weeks before the beginning of the classes of
Mhm.
oriented to international students for engineering to catch up with math and physics on campus. So they come here to 2 weeks like extra classes before the beginning of the classes, so they can get like to catch up with their level in math and physics.
So they need to have like really, really high level of mathematics for engineering.
Yes. Yes. Mm.
Okay. Okay.
We also do a psychotechnical test for engineering students, like logical reasoning, like spatial reasoning, verbal reasoning. So it's like 1, 3, 5, 7, follow the series, or a cube, open the cube. They require that test also for engineering program.
So is that test part of the admissions process
Yes,
too?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how many of your subjects require such test or different tests?
Mostly engineering, architecture, design. That will be it. Yeah.
Okay, those are the ones. Okay. So do students need to have a portfolio or anything like that if they're interested in something in the arts
Portfolio only for the design program.
for design?
Yes,
Okay.
because for example, some students are like, "Oh, I really like architecture." Like, no, you don't like architecture, you like design. Because architecture in Spain, it will be more like a civil engineering, has like a really strong base in math and physics here. And they're like,
Mhm.
"No, but I'm more artistic." Okay, so let's go for design. Like architecture is like
Okay.
really like technical, really, really technical. So you like design and arts, just go for design, no architecture.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
That's great. I mean, I could spend the entire afternoon asking you
I know
questions,
there's so
but
many differences. I'm
yes, yes.
sorry.
But you know what? I think we need to come back another time and then we discuss more about what's happening at your campus because you seem pretty busy there, huh?
I know. But it's really enriching actually, because Pamplona is a small city in the north of Spain, and it's like a campus city. Our uni has like 13,000 students, but it's like 33% international from more than 100 countries. So you will think like, oh, a small city, like a small uni in the north, like nobody knows it, like it's not Madrid, it's not Barcelona, but the environment and it's like really lively and diverse.
Well,
So
I've
we
been
think
to Madrid. Madrid is a nice city.
it's a nice city. I'm not saying it's a nice city, but I'm saying that you will think that Pamplona is a small one, so you wouldn't imagine there's like a university like this with a huge campus and that amount of international students. Because it's a kind of nice destination for students leaving their house for the first time. It's just like really safe city and really like easy to move around. It's really convenient. So for the first time away, it's easy.
It's easy.
The
So
city is really
let's
easy.
say for international students, how far easy to get to campus, like from flight? Do you think it has direct flights, so let's say from the US or
Oh
you
no,
spoke
no,
about a lot to
no.
Asia, so maybe you can say a little bit more.
Okay, so our city has an airport, but it's not like an international airport. before we used to have international flights to Frankfurt, but not anymore. So if you're in the US, the easiest way to travel here will be like flying directly to Madrid and then taking a flight directly to Pamplona or getting the train. It's like a direct train, 3 hours to have like a cafeteria, movies, everything on the train is pretty comfortable. So that would be the easiest way. It's what I normally do when I go to the US or when I go to Asia. I do like Pamplona, Madrid, Madrid, anywhere in the world.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So, Bea, I know you're busy. I'm not gonna keep you too long.
Right.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you. So I definitely would like to touch base again and to catch up on what's happening on campus
Okay.
and learn more.
Okay. Thank you. Likewise.
Okay,
Anything you need,
so
just let me know. Okay.
for the audience who's listening, so if I'm sure Bea gave you a real insights of what's happening at University of Navarra, if you're interested. So how do they reach out to you,
Well,
Bea?
they actually can reach me out on my email. It's like B from Bea, Plagaro, my surname, at unav.es. And that's it. Direct email with me, and I will answer any questions they may have.
Okay,
Or
great.
direct them to the person in the country to answer the questions. But yes, they can reach me
Cool.
out.
So then if you are still confused about the process and you would like to learn more, you can reach me, Jean at louis@consulting.com, and I'll be more than happy to help. Or you can just shoot us in a quick message at info@louis@consulting.com. Thanks again for joining us today, and looking forward for the next edition of Insights into College Admissions. Your host here, Jean.